Yo, what's up everybody? It's your boy Floss, back again with another video. And today we're going to take a look at the SkullCandy Crusher ANC 2. Now you can pick these up online. I'll throw the link up in the description. The price on these, $230. Alright, so let's go through the specs real quick. Now these come in one color, true black. They're Bluetooth version 5.2 and they feature multi-point connection. That means you can pair two devices at the same time. Now you got 40mm drivers. These feature Skull IQ with personalized sound. So that means when you first get these, you do a little hearing test and you're going to get a personalized sound setting. Now you got active noise cancellation and transparency mode. You got a built-in mic for hands-free phone calls. The battery life on these is 50 hours. And it also features fast charge. Now on a side note, if you use an active noise cancellation and maximum sensory bass, you're going to lose some battery time. Now you got physical controls for playing pause, skip and reverse tracks, answering end phone calls, and volume up and down. And of course you can adjust your sensory bass. Now you got an app that's available for Android and iOS that lets you customize your EQ settings and customize the button. And most importantly, the reason why you're buying these headphones, adjustable sensory bass. Alright, so all of that for $230. Let's see what it is. Now before we unbox this, I gotta make sure everybody knows exactly what you're buying, okay? Let's talk about sensory bass. Now I read all of the comments. Every time I do a set of SkullCandy headphone videos, somebody leaves the same comments. So let's address this right now. What is sensory bass? Sensory bass is bass that you can actually feel. Think about it like this. When you grab your PlayStation controller or your Xbox controller and you're playing a video game and you feel the controller vibrating, say you're playing a driving game and you hit the wall and the controller vibrates, that gives you a sensory feeling. You feel like you're part of the game. You're very immersed. That's exactly how these headphones work. You got haptic feedback engines in each ear cup that are actually going to vibrate along with your bass. So if you ever went to a club and you stood by the speaker and you feel the bass shaking your whole body, or if you got a car that has a crazy subwoofer in the back and you feel that bass pounding, you can feel it in your body, that's exactly what you're going to get with these headphones. Now let me make this clear. These are not these, okay? If you're an audiophile, you're not gonna like these headphones, okay? One of the comments that people leave is, the bass is so crazy, it muffles out the highs and the mids. Here's the thing. If you're an audiophile and you're looking for maximum sound quality, you gotta go with a real set of headphones. I would say the SkullCandy headphones are one step away from being a toy. Now when I say toy, I don't mean that in a negative way, I mean that in a fun way. Now, if you watch my channel, you'll know. The SkullCandy Crusher Evos, these are my favorite headphones. Now, when I say favorite, I don't mean the best. When it comes to the best, you got AirPod Max, you got the Master & Dynamics, you got B&Os, you got the Focal Bathes, real active noise cancellation, real sound quality. But when I'm trying to have fun, okay, the most fun headphones that I own right now are the SkullCandy Crusher Evos. The feeling that you get when this bass drops and you feel it vibrating on your head, there's no words that can really explain it. You're going to have to try this in real life. And trust me when I tell you, there's nobody on this planet who's a real hardcore bass lover that can put these headphones on their ears, turn up maximum sensory bass, and not smile when they hear their favorite bass-heavy song. It's going to change your life, okay? These are life-changing headphones for bass heads. Now, with that being said, at the end of this video, I'm going to answer two important questions. Number one, are these worth $230? I think we all know the answer to that already. But number two, are they really that much better than the SkullCandy Crusher ANC, the originals? Because these are $135 right now. And are they better than the SkullCandy Crusher Evos? Now, these are $200. So are the SkullCandy Crusher ANC 2s worth that extra $30? Let's find out. First things first, shout out to White Shoes. She got the day off. Here we go. SkullCandy Crusher ANC 2. Skull thumping crusher bass with all the features and none of the noise. Let's see, did I miss anything? Nope. Let's grab a little unboxing knife. Okay, we got the stiletto today. Here we go. Round. One more. Round. Okay, SkullCandy Crusher ANC 2. Now, I'm going to let the hype build up. Pause the video right now. If you haven't seen my SkullCandy Crusher Evo video, I think you want to watch that and get my natural reaction. Now, I'm not going to have that same extra hype reaction today because I use these every day in the gym. All right, so I already know how these sound. I'm already OD hype. And that's one more thing I wanted to mention. These are the perfect headphones for the gym. Now, they don't have the sweat-resistant ear cups and all of that, but I use these every day in the gym. These are going to give you that motivation you need when you're working out with that extra bass rumbling. But the only downside is no active noise cancellation. Now, with the SkullCandy ANC Originals, you do have active noise cancellation, but it wasn't that great. Okay, it wasn't that great. Okay, so here we go. SkullCandy Crusher ANC 2. I'm so hyped. All right, let's see. Quick start guide. Okay, so let's see. You do have a quick start guide. We'll go through that in a minute. It comes with a nice hard shell case, SkullCandy logo. Let's see anything else in here. Usual books and shit. Plug them and file them. Okay, as far as the case, let's check the zipper. Nice little zipper on this. Let's see what kind of zipper this is. Okay, standard zippage. You're getting your standard zippage. Inside, these are going to be your cables. Okay, so you got USB Type-C to USB-A for charging up the headphones, and you do have a 3.5 for wired listening. Okay, now here's your actual headphones. Okay, now the case does have a little left and right branding, so you know exactly how to put them back in. Okay, now for the headphones themselves, plastic build on these. A nice cushion in the ear, in the headband. Let's do the Easter Island head stretch test. Okay, for all y'all cats with the Easter Island size heads, these are gonna fit. They do swivel and fold. Okay, so you got a bunch of different buttons. We'll go through these in a minute. This is just sensory wheel control. Okay, so when I first test these out, I'm gonna turn the bass all the way down, and then we're gonna turn it all the way up and go crazy. Let's see, USB Type-C, that's for charging, 3.5 auxiliary input for wired listening. Let's see, this looks like the power switch. Okay, so you got volume up and down, play and pause, skip and reverse tracks. And this should be switch between active noise cancellation and transparency mode. But there's also a customizable button. So we'll take a look at that when we look at the app. As far as the ear cups, okay, nice and soft. Let me do a smell test on these. Smells like pleather, okay? Smells very leatherish, but it has more of a pleather kind of feel to it. But they are nice and soft. Now, just to compare them real quick with the original ANCs, let's see. Ear cups feel about the same. The cushion in the headband feels a little bit better with this cloth material on it. This might be actually better for working out in the gym, absorb that sweat, because this gets nice and moist. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. Yeah, they look about the same. But this one has, the originals has this little, the lever instead of the wheel. I actually like the wheel better because with the lever, sometimes you can't get it to the right exact spot. The wheel, you can move it gradually. Now, as far as the Evos, they kind of have the same height, the same weight. That's what I meant to say. They kind of have the same weight and build quality. Okay, all plastic with a matte feel so you're getting no fingerprints. All right, so let me grab a phone, download the app, pair these up, and we'll start our usual testing. Talk amongst yourselves. All right, so real quick, let's go over the buttons one more time because I think I made a mistake at the beginning. This orange button, this is your power button. This also acts as your Bluetooth pairing button. Okay, so if you hold it down, that's going to put the headphones in Bluetooth pairing mode. Now this wheel right here, this is for your sensory bass, but it's also customizable. The wheel has a press. So you can actually press it. And if you listen closely, you do have voice prompts. I'm going to press it again.
Crusher, 20%.
Okay, so nice voice prompts for all of the actions on these headphones. Now you got more multifunctional buttons. You can have these for play and pause, skip and reverse tracks, answering and phone calls, and volume up and down. And this little switch right here, this is going to cycle between active noise cancellation and transparency mode. And again, you got voice prompts.
Aware on. ANC off.
Okay, fully customizable physical buttons. All right, so now let's take a look at the Skull IQ app. Now you do have some settings. You can disconnect your headphones. You can change your voice control language. You got your app version, quality program, send data back to SkullCandy if you're having an issue. You got product help, terms and condition, and customer support. Now you do have the name of your headphones. You got a picture of your headphones, the battery percentage, your Bluetooth connection status, and if there's an update available, it'll pop up right here. Now let's go through some of the different tiles. You got voice control. Okay, so you could just say, hey, SkullCandy, play music. Hey, SkullCandy, pause. You know, I'm not going to say this, so activate my headphones, but all of these different voice commands, Oh, you notice it did work. I said, hey, SkullCandy play, and it started playing. Okay, so you do have fully functional voice controls. Okay, you can turn that on and off. You got voice assistants, Alexa, you got iHeart. Let's see, button settings. Now, these buttons are really customizable. Okay, so for your wheel, you can have play and pause, skip and reverse tracks, volume up and down, fast actions like Spotify. You can even have it take a photo. All right, so that's pretty dope. If you got your phone out, you could just say take a photo, and they'll snap that photo, answer and end calls. Okay, now for your volume up, same thing. You got single press, double press, triple press, and 1 second hold. Fully customizable. Same thing for your mid button and your volume down. Okay, so fully customizable. Now you got your crusher. Okay, now this is going to be your bass intensity level. Okay. Well, I can't wait to try that. Let's start off with minimum intensity. I don't want to go crazy just yet. Okay, so you got hearing modes. You got active noise cancellation. Okay, with actual levels. Okay, so you do have a slider so you can increase or decrease your active noise cancellation. And again, all of these are available through voice prompts and voice control. You got stay aware. That's your ambient sound mode with an intensity level slider. Okay, so this is, so far, looks like a really nice app. Let's see, you got an EQ. Okay, so you got some basic presets, music, podcast, movie, and custom. Woo, custom. You already know how we do. All right, let's do low, mid. Yeah, why not? We just do maximum. But right now we're going to start off with, let's do for EQ, we'll do it on music. Now, the way I got my control set up is if I press that wheel, it cycles between the different EQ presets. Okay, so you got personalized sound. Like I said, when you first get these, do the little hearing test, and you're going to get a personalized sound signature. You got Spotify tap. If you use Spotify, set up a button for Spotify tap. Like I said, you can take a photo. You do have multi-point pairing, and you can find with Tile. So you're going to have to download the Tile app, and you can use the Tile app to find your headphones. Okay, let's see, anything else we need to see here? Nope, that's pretty much it. All right, so this looks like a nice functional app. All right, so now let's talk about the fit, the feel, and the look. Now, these are all plastic, okay? So they're going to be super lightweight. You can rock these all day long with no head fatigue. Nice cushions, nice padding, and they do stretch and fold and swivel. Now, I'm going to put these on my head, and my ears are completely engulfed in the ear cups. Here's how they're going to look. Okay, so these are true over-the-ear headphones. Lightweight and comfortable. Now let's do the most important thing, a sound test. All right, so for this test, we're going to start off with active noise cancellation turned off, the volume set to max, and the crusher engine turned off. So I want to hear these as just a regular set of headphones first. Now, of course, these are all about bass, so I got Nipsey Hussle Blue Laces too. Now, I know y'all hear me say, I promise y'all I'm not going to sing, and then I always sing. This time, I really promise y'all I'm not going to sing because I really want to hear these. Okay, now this is the maiden voyage. I never heard them yet. I'm going to put them on my ears right now. Birdman hands rubbing together. All right, let's get it on. Remember, no crusher engine. Okay. Now, these are definitely lightweight and comfortable. Okay, here we go. Hold up. Okay. Highs and mids sound good. Okay, hold up. Okay. Now the bass just dropped with the crusher engine off. Okay, man. Let me wait for the full punchline. Hold up. Okay, they know that. Okay. Now, with the crusher engine turned off, honestly, these sound like a set of $30 headphones that you get from the gas station. Nothing special at all. All right, so if you're not a bass head and you're going to be using these with the crusher engine off, you're going to be disappointed, okay? You're not going to like that sound. Now, I'm going to start this over again. Now, for the fun. Let's turn on the crusher engine, and we're going to have the intensity at 0, okay? Now, this is 0 for the crusher engine. Here we go. Okay. Now, the volume is still the same, okay? Okay, here we go. Okay. Okay, now hold up. Oh, I got a little tingle just now. I love these shits. Hold up. Okay, hold up. Wow. Now I got a little tingle just now, and the engine is set to minimum intensity, but you still feel a little bit of vibration. Okay, a little bit of vibration. Now I'm going to start these over, and we're just going to go full throttle right now. Let's maximum intensity. Okay, let me put my seatbelt on. Hold on a second. All right, here we go. Blue Laces 2, Crusher engine on max. Okay. Okay, now I felt a little vibration with just the words. Okay, hold up. Okay, hold up. Okay, here we go. Woo! Oh my God! Mm! Yeah! Buggling ain't that. Okay, hold up. Hold up. Hold up. Do y'all hear this? Bro, hold up. Hold up. All right. Yo, all right. Bro, let me say this. All right, let me calm down. All right, Floss, reel it in. Like I said at the beginning of the video, these are one step away from being a toy. And when I say toy, I don't mean like a little kitty toy. These are a fun set of headphones. I mean, you gotta, watching this YouTube video is really not gonna do it justice. You really gotta hear, let me see if I can do that again. Let me see if you can see the vibration on the table. Watch this. This test right here is not really doing it justice, but. Oh my God. Let me put them back on. All right, I gotta hear one more show. Hold up, watch this, yo. Watch this, hold up. We gotta put Young Thug. Young Thug. Free YSL. Young Thug, Everything Litty. All right, now that's another song that I be listening to in the gym. Okay, hold on, let me find out. What's the name of that song? Everything Litty, I love it. I'm gonna put in Litty. Let me see. Maybe that come up. Is that the name of that song? Hold on, Hot. Okay, Hot. That's the name of the song, Hot. Let me hear Hot real quick. Okay, hold up. Free YSL, hold up. Yo! All right, now I gotta try something. Let's try something. Let's check the EQ. Okay, let's try podcast. Okay, so the EQ does make a difference. Okay, movie sounds good. Yeah, movie sounds real good. And my custom. Oh my God. Yeah, like this. All right, let's save that. Now, I'm gonna take these off. Now, these actually have a pop to it. Let me pause the video. Let me pause it. Okay, let me try this real quick. Hey, SkullCandy, pause the music. Okay, that didn't work. Let me try that again. Hey, SkullCandy, pause. Okay, that works. Just pause. All right. Now, at maximum intensity with the maximum EQ settings, the speakers, the headphones, it started having like a pop sound. So you can't just go full throttle, or I say throttle, full throttle, maximum EQ settings. Let me try that one more time. It sounded like it was popping. Let's do it again. Okay, not bad though. Yeah, but nah, I wouldn't do it like that. Okay, here's the thing. Okay, so I will say this. Now, here's what, like I said, I'm a veteran with these SkullCandy headphones. I would say the vibration engine on these is a little bit stronger than the Evos and the ANCs, because at max volume, you can't get them to make that popping sound. These are actually having a popping sound. I don't think that's a good thing. I don't think that's a good thing. I like to have max everything. Let's try this one more time with a regular setting. Let's do mute. Let's do movie. Yeah, okay. Let's see. Okay, let me see. The right here sounds amazing. Nah, but I need more. Okay, yeah. Hold up. Okay. Now I like to do these kind of stuff in my videos live, so y'all kind of, go through my range of emotions. The bass on these is just blowing my effing mind. But I will say this. is kind of weird. At maximum intensity, it doesn't sound that great. So these, you're going to have to turn down the intensity a little bit, because when you put it at maximum intensity, it kind of has that speaker pop sound. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Now, with my Crusher Evos, I rock these with the, you notice, the wheel, I don't think the wheel ever maybe moves down a teeny bit every now and then, but the wheel is always on max. And if it moves down a little bit, that's because it's been like in my gym bag or in my car. As soon as I get to the gym, that shit goes all the way to the top, and it just has the perfect vibration. This one right here, I think they might have did a little bit too much with the haptic engine, because it's vibrating a little bit too much. Now, I'm going to have to try... Let me try my song one more time. And we're going to put this to rest. Okay, so let's do Nipsey Hussle. Let's do, okay, music with maximum intensity. Okay. Okay, maybe it's just a song. Okay, maybe it's just certain songs. Because with the Nipsey Hussle Blue Laces 2, oh my God, this one just blew me away. Okay, I have maximum intensity, no popping sound. Matter of fact, let's try maximum everything. Let's do maximum EQ. Let's hit play on the music again. Let's see if we can get that popping sound out of here. Let's see. Okay, yeah. I will say this. Okay, it might be just dependent on the song. Now I'm going to pause the video and try a few more songs. But with Blue Laces 2, that clean bass line, even with my maximum EQ settings and maximum Crusher engine, I didn't really hear that pop sound, but it sounds like it wants to do that pop sound. Okay, so maybe just me being a freak and putting everything on max. You don't got to do it like that. But this is how I like to test products. I like to test products to their full potential. And as of right now, these do have a little popping. Let me see. Yeah, I think I would have to turn it down. Like this. Yeah, I think this would be perfect. This is the perfect setting right here. Okay. Anyway, let me pause the video real quick. I'll try out a few more songs and see if we can get this all sorted out. All right, so I just finished testing out a bunch of different songs and a bunch of different streaming services. And here's what I noticed. YouTube Music plays songs at a louder volume. Now, I'm using Apple Music right now, and this sounds incredible. Same thing with Spotify, same thing with Tidal, same thing with Amazon Music. Okay, it sounds a little bit better on those services. Now, the thing is, YouTube Music is one of my favorite streaming services because it has a lot of the music that I can't find on Apple Music. A lot of underground hip-hop songs, old school hip-hop songs that from DJ Clue tapes, all these old DJ tapes, you're not going to find on Apple Music. So that's why I tend to use YouTube Music a lot, especially for my bass-heavy songs. But I'm noticing with the Apple Music, it sounds a lot cleaner. Now I'm going to do the same thing. Here's the Blue Laces 2. Right? Listen to how clean it sounds with the Apple Music. Then this is maximum intensity. Watch that bass. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's a lot cleaner. It's a lot cleaner from the Apple Music. But I still got it to pop. I still got to get that little popping sound. If I went to my custom EQs, I'm going to save this one right there because I don't want to mess that up. But if I put everything on max like this, maybe just a little bit like this, you still get a little bit of that speaker popping sound. I don't like that. Okay, so I don't know. I'm going to do a little bit more testing, but as of right now, I'm noticing that different streaming services are giving me different sound quality. So far, Apple Music really sounds the best, though. I got everything on max, and you get that deep, rich SkullCandy vibration that you got from the Evos. You get them on this. Here's the thing. Here's what I will say. It looks like SkullCandy went even harder with the Crusher engine. It does seem like it vibrates a little bit more than the Evos and way more than the original ANCs. Okay, so if you buy these for that vibration, you are not going to be disappointed. They still shaking your fucking head. All right, so I'm back here doing tests like a scientist, and I just noticed the headphones definitely sound better with an Android phone. You're going to get more volume. Now, you still get the same intensity with the bass and all of that, at max volume and max everything, I still noticing a little bit of that popping sound, but in terms of sheer volume, it sounds better on the Android phone. All right, so now let's check the multi-point connection. Can you pair two devices at the same time? And the answer is yes. Let's start off with the iPhone. Okay. Here's the Galaxy. Back to the iPhone. Back to the Galaxy. Multipoint works flawlessly, instant switching. All right, so now let's do the reconnection test. How long do these take to reconnect to your phone after you power them off? Here we go, let's power them off. Okay, fully disconnected. Power them back on. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 3 Mississippis reconnected. That's pretty good. All right, so now let's check the button controls. And on the side note, these are fully customizable, but this is how I got mine set up. So for the middle button, 1 tap for play and pause. This will also answer and end phone calls. Now for volume up, 1 tap on volume up. For volume down, 1 tap on volume down. If I want to skip to the next song, double tap volume up. If I want to go to the previous track, double tap volume down. This little switch right here is going to cycle between active noise cancellation and transparency mode. And if you listen closely, you hear the voice prompt. On this side, this is my Crusher intensity wheel, but I also got it custom set to if I press it, Crusher 50%, press it one more time. Crusher 80%, press it one more time. Crusher 20%. So it's going to cycle between different levels of Crusher intensity. So all of the buttons work perfectly. All right, so now let's check for latency. And what I mean by that is, when you're watching a video, is there any delay from the person's lips to what you hear? And one more side note, for everybody that keeps asking me, why do I even do this test? Believe it or not, there's still earbuds and headphones that have latency issues. So I'm trying to give y'all a full review, so we got to test everything. Now, of course, no latency delay at all with these. Bluetooth 5.3 is pretty good. These will be perfect for watching your videos. All right, so now let's check the call quality. Now, Maya's on a flight right now, so I'm going to call up my girl. I know she's busy at work, but let's see if she's going to answer. Okay, Crusher ANC. Let's get maximum volume. Yeah. Hey, babe. Yo, what's up? What you doing? Oh. Yeah, I know. Okay, I figured that. I'm doing a video. You know, Maya's on a flight right now, so I got to bust your balls and call you up. How do I sound? Sound very clear? All right, hold up. Now, do you hear any wind at all? A little bit? Okay, hold up. Okay, now what about now? I got maximum windage on. You can hear the wind, but you can still hear my voice? Would you be able to have a full conversation when it be like this, or would the wind be getting annoying? Okay. Okay, good. So now how would you rank these on a scale of 1 to 10? All right, and how would you rank my voice on a scale of sexiness 1 to 10? I can't play. I'm playing. All right, I'm going to text you in a minute. All right, let me get back to shooting this video. All right, bye. Okay, so she heard a little bit of the fan, but she said my voice was coming in crystal clear over the fan. Why do I do the fan? This would be the same thing as if you were sitting in your car and you got the window down and some wind is coming in, or maybe you're outside walking and it's a little bit of windy. You know, maybe you're walking on a windy day, but nobody's really going to be having a conversation with this much wind right this close to your headphone. So if you can still hear the person's voice and they hear you fine with this amount of wind, I'd say the call quality on these is pretty good. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, late but still great. White Shoes is back in the building.
I love my white shoes. I love my white shoes. I love my
White shoes?
I love
Calm down. I was getting a little bit worried about shoes. Shoes is good. Shoes is good. All right, so now let's check for transparency mode and active noise cancellation with the indoor test first. Okay, of course, I got the annoying baby crying. I'm going to start off with active noise cancellation turned off. Now I'm going to turn on transparency mode. Okay, now I can hear my nails on the table. I definitely hear more of my surroundings. Let me hear the baby for a second. Okay, the baby is super loud. Now here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna turn on active noise cancellation with no music just to hear the mics kick in. Now, usually when I do this test with quality active noise canceling headphones, you hear a dramatic difference. Okay, so let's hit the baby. Hit active noise cancellation. Okay. I will say this. You can tell that the mic's actually turned on, but it doesn't have that dramatic feeling of all of the air being sucked out of your head and it gets super quiet. When you got it on transparency mode, okay, I can hear my voice. Okay, now this is definitely not the best transparency mode that I've used yet, because active noise cancellation in transparency mode, you don't really hear too much difference. It did get a little bit more quiet, but not a dramatic change. All right, so let's try this. So let's put on active noise cancellation. I'm gonna hit the baby and I'm gonna play some music. And now, here's the way I test these headphones out. If I still hear any of the baby crying, then this is not the best active noise cancellation. Y'all see me do this test 1,001 times. If it works correctly, I shouldn't hear none of this baby crying over my music. All right, so let's make sure I got one of my songs that I like to bump, Brotherly Love. Here we go. Okay, so I hear the baby loud and clear. Let's hit the music. Okay. Just what I thought. All right, just what I thought. I could still hear a faint part of the baby crying in the back. Not too loud, but like I really had to listen to it. But if this was the real world and I was sitting down with these headphones on, with this song, with maximum volume, maximum crusher intensity, and there was this baby sitting right next to me crying, I would probably get annoyed because I could still hear the baby crying a little bit. Now, y'all see me do the Tozo earbuds the other day? No baby crying at all. So y'all know I got 3 tiers of noise cancellation. Trash tier, okay tier, and top tier. For in the house action, I would say these are okay tier. Now, for noise cancellation, we got to test the high end and the low end. Baby's crying, that's the high end. Now we got to test the low end. So I'm going to go sit in the car, let my engine rumble for a minute, and that would be the same as me sitting on a train, me sitting on an aircraft next to the engine, or sitting in a loud-ass car. I'll be back with those results. All right, so now let's talk about transparency mode and active noise cancellation. Now, as far as transparency mode, it's okay. It's definitely not top tier. So if you got a set of AirPod Max, you got a set of Sennheisers or Sonys that have really good transparency mode, you're going to notice the difference. Now, with all transparency mode, the idea is you want to have a conversation with somebody without taking your headphones off, and these you can do that. Now, with the top tier transparency mode headphones, some of them, your voice kind of sounds like a robot. These don't really have that issue, but it's just not that great. You will hear some surrounding noises, so if you're outside taking a walk, you ain't going to get hit by a car. But these are definitely not top-tier transparency mode headphones. I would say they're okay. And that's the same thing for active noise cancellation. They're okay. They're definitely not top-tier. I did a comparison versus the originals. They do work better than the originals, but they're nowhere near AirPod Max or Sonys or Sennheisers or B&Os. Put it like this. If you're buying these with your main focus on active noise cancellation, don't do that. Okay, do not do that. If you're buying these with your main focus on transparency mode, don't do that. If you're buying these with your main focus on super loud headphones, loud volume that's just gonna bang your head, don't do that. Okay? Buy these headphones for one reason and one reason only, that sensory bass. Now, I will say this. I just did a comparison with the Evos and the originals. These have the most sensory bass. Like, they really went crazy with the sensory bass engine, but I would say they went crazy to the point that they overdid it. Because a lot of songs, now this is basically song specific, a lot of songs, if I put it on maximum sensory bass and I got my EQ settings the way I like them, you do hear that popping sound. I hate that popping sound. Y'all know what I'm talking about. When you have bass heavy speakers that can't handle the bass and the speakers kind of pop a little bit, I know somebody's gonna say, oh, you gotta let them break in and all that. It's not that. They went extra hard with the heptic engines on this. It just vibrates crazy. Now, that's a good thing. That's a good thing because, like I said, it's song specific. Certain songs, I had it on max everything, and it sounded incredible. It sounded perfect. Other songs, I had it on max everything, and you hear that popping sound a little bit, so I had to turn the sensory bass down a little bit or turn the EQ settings down a little bit. Overall, here's my results. Here's my ranking. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm still going to give these a triple major go because they do exactly what they're designed to do. Shake your head with that sensory bass. I will say this though, honestly, after doing side-by-side testing, you might want to just save the $20 because the noise cancellation ain't that great anyway. You might want to just save, actually it's $30. You might want to just save that $30 and go with the Crusher Evos. However, with these, you are getting the app. You are getting way more features. You got the voice controls. Matter of fact, let me change that. Matter of fact, for the same price, for extra $30, yeah, I would say go with the Crusher ANCs for that extra $30. You're getting way more features. Okay, you could get these. You can get these to rattle just as much as these and more. Okay, so you're getting more sensory bass. You are getting OK tier, transparency mode, OK tier, active noise cancellation, OK tier phone call quality. But you are getting a lot more features. You got your voice controls. You got the fully functional app. You got EQ settings this time. So yeah, these are definitely worth the extra $30 over the Crusher Evos. So this is what I meant to say. If you got the Crusher Evos, I wouldn't run out and buy these. Okay, I would just keep these. Now, if you got the original ANCs, yeah, it's time to upgrade. If you got the original Crushers, yeah, it's time to upgrade. If you got the Evos, I would just rock these because I use these in the gym. And the noise cancellation, which is basically just the volume and the sensory bass, it works good enough for the gym. I'm in the gym. I might hear a little bit of music in the background every now and then if they thumping, or I might hear a few people grunting and moaning, but I be in my own zone. I think these are going to be my new gym headphones because they do have noise cancellation. And like I said, certain songs, I got it to sound perfect. I'm wearing a loose fitting shirt right now, but for the duration of this video, my nipples was like this, okay? This is what I want. When I buy headphones, I want my nipples to look like this by the time I'm finished shooting the video, and this is exactly how they look. So overall, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm giving the SkullCandy Crusher ANC 2s a major go. I took away one major just because of the fact that I don't like at maximum intensities. I don't like to hear that popping sound. But you don't have to be a D-bag like me. You don't have to put everything on max. You could get these headphones to never have that popping sound. Just turn things down a little bit. But me, I'm like I'm like one of those assholes that like to have everything on full blast. So I heard the popping sound. Like I said, you could get these to make no popping sound. Play with the EQ settings. Matter of fact, why not? I'll give these a triple major go. I think these are, matter of fact, yeah, let me change my rating. I think I'm going to give these a triple major go because I'm thinking about rocking these in the gym today. I'm about to go right now. I highly recommend these. Okay, now, I said all that to say this. Certain things you can't get from a YouTube video. And one of the things that you'll never get from a YouTube video is the experience of using SkullCandy Crusher wireless headphones. You need to experience these in real life. Go to Best Buy. Even if you take the old ones, okay, even the ones that came out way before this, just experience it one time. And if you don't want to go to Best Buy, take your PlayStation controller, okay, put it right by your ear. Play a video game, and when that controller starts vibrating on your head, think about that if it was music vibrating just like that. These are a go. Anyway, SkullCandy Crusher ANC 2, shout out to White Shoes. Hit me up in the comments. Let me know what y'all think about these. Shout out to everybody rocking with me on Facebook, Foursquare, Twitter, Google+. Shout out to all the Google gangsters. I see y'all holding down that Facebook page. Shout out to everybody hitting me up on Voxer. And a special shout out to everybody rocking with me on Instagram. Y'all know that's where I'm at full time, 100% full throttle. And a special shout out to everybody rocking with the new stream on Sundays. Y'all already know, Street Gangsters on deck. Get your drinks ready. No mute was left. Oh yeah, special shout out to everybody following me on Snapchat, Flossy_Carter, that's where I'm at. And a special shout out to the notification squad. I see y'all in the comment section early. Hashtag salute. Oh yeah, one more thing. I almost forgot. Fellas, ladies, say it with me. All y'all haters, all y'all trolls, close your eyes. A picture be broken. It's your boy Floss, I'm out. Deuces. Spock won the beam up. Energize.
We're in a situation where everybody in the world uses technology. And if you're gonna buy some of that technology, you gotta understand certain things. Subscribe to Flossy Carter. He does reviews of all the latest technology. The iPhones, the iPads, the Galaxies, the Samsungs, whatever the fuck. The Beats by that doctor guy. And he puts his kitty cat in the videos too for you something to look at. You know, I'm an animal lover, so I like that shit. So make sure you hit the subscribe button to Flossy Carter on the YouTube, the follow button on the Instaface, and the like button on the Facelook. Because if you don't, we're gonna have a fucking problem here. A bad one. Now hit the fucking subscribe button.